Welcome back to the Prem de la Prem channel on Last Man Standing. I'm James Burton. He's Patrick Crowley. We got another one for you today. Patrick, why don't we try something a little different? Why don't you take us in?
Sure thing, James. Would you consider yourself an artist?
Sure.
An art enthusiast?
I don't see what this has to do with anything.
Pablo Picasso's art has elements of what artistic movement?
Patrick, this is supposed to be about football.
A. Impressionism. B. Surrealism. Or C. Plato.
Well, I do have a Bachelor of Arts degree from the esteemed Northeastern University over in Boston, and honestly...
The answer is B. Surrealism. And that's what we're talking about here today, James. Most surreal goals that are burned into our memory over the years. We're calling this quiz Picasso Galazzo, a Surreal Goals Challenge.
Came to the right place, folks.
Aren't you excited, James?
Yeah. Well, honestly, this is the last time I let you make a quiz, but why don't we write it out for the rest of the day?
Number one. Divock Origi, famously pounced on a Jordan Pickford howler in 2018 to shoulder it in after the ball bounced off the top of the crossbar twice. Was this to win the Merseyside derby this year? Yes or no? But yes, of course, that was to win the Merseyside derby. That was, I believe, in stoppage time, James, of a 1-0 game. So a howler of the highest order. And Divock Origi, we talked about this, seems to only score famous goals.
Most iconic commentary for an unused sub.
Yep.
Of all time.
Put the Champions League final to bed as well.
Question number 2 in Golasso Picasso. Magnifico. Demba Ba recently scored a long breakaway goal against our very own Manchester United in the Champions League. Against which team did his other famous long breakaway goal cost a title? Was it also Manchester United, or was it Liverpool? Folks, the answer is Liverpool. The Reds from Liverpool, not the Reds from Manchester. But Patrick, I'm curious to take a poll and see from the general consensus of fans who they would rather take a title from, Liverpool or Manchester.
Oh, I think general consensus, Manchester. They've just had more. You want to take it away. You want to take them away. If I could take away the ones you already have, I would. So I'm certainly going to try to take away any future ones. Yeah. Question number 3. Manchester City have recently been at or near the top of the table, but it wasn't always the case. Which player scored a crucial goal in stoppage time of the final game of the season to give City their first Premier League title? Was it A, David Silva, B, Sergio Aguero, or C, Vincent Kompany? The answer, of course, is B, Sergio Aguero. James, I won't ask you to regale that story, but massive goal, massive moment.
Mother's Day, I believe.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Really ruined the day, huh?
I don't want to talk about it. No, I think Martin Tyler hasn't really been the same since he dropped that spirit bomb of commentary. Everton midfielder James Rodriguez, fresh off a torn scrotum, burst onto the scene in the 2014 World Cup in Brazil with a myriad of goals, including a stunning volley against Uruguay. Did that goal win him the goal of the tournament?
I remember that goal. A thing of beauty.
The answer is yes, it did. And for all you knowledge buffs out there, it also won the Puskas Award that year. So truly a goal of quality. I believe he was the goal scorer of the tournament. That's really when he broke onto the scene, and now obviously he's back on the scene again.
Right. It's weird that you could call him back on the scene again at Everton after spells at Real Madrid and Bayern Munich, but that's world football for you. So question number 5. Good one here. Who was the last goalkeeper to score in the Premier League? It's only happened 5 times in Premier League history. Was it A, Tim Howard, or B, Asmir Begovic? This is a good one. This is a tough one. And the answer is B. It's Begovic. Tim Howard, of course, did score in the Premier League, but Begovic did it most recently in 2013 for Stoke against Southampton. In 7 years, James, I'd say we're due we're due for another one.
It's a shame no one saw the Begovic goal. It was probably like a midday kickoff Stoke versus Southampton, but you've got the highlight tape for that. Question number 6, ladies and gentlemen. We are getting to the business end of things here. Mo Salah holds the record for 32 goals in a Premier League season. Against which club did he notch his 32nd and record-breaking goal? Was it Bournemouth, Brighton, or Burnley? The 3 Bs as we know them, and Arsenal struggles to take points from just about any of them. The answer, apropos, is B, Brighton. It was the last game of the season, and he was scoreless in his previous 2 games. But the legend,
Getting sweaty, yeah.
second best player in Egyptian history, he tucked it home.
Absolutely. For those of you who are trivia buffs and wondering who could possibly be better than Salah, come over to the podcast. We'll educate you on Mohamed El Neni. Question number 7. Life was a beach for Pepe Reina and Liverpool when this Sunderland player scored an important goal against the Reds, whose shot seemed to be diverted by a beach ball that found its way onto the pitch. A, Kenwenye Jones. B, Darren Bent. Or C, Jermaine Defoe. The answer, of course, is B, Darren Bent. One of the more bizarre scenes I've ever seen, of course. Beach ball getting the assist, and is what it is.
And the biggest con story of Premier League history, a man alleged to be Ballon d'Or winner George Weah called a Premier League manager, yes, a real Premier League manager with some kind of acumen, and told him to sign his cousin, little-known striker Ali Dia. That manager did sign him, and Dia even got Premier League minutes against Leeds in 1996. Which side gave him his debut? Was it Middlesbrough, Aston Villa, or Southampton? The answer, folks, is Southampton. Southampton. Graham Souness, hang your head in shame. You let this happen. One of the strangest stories I think I've ever heard of.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But all credit to fake George Weah and Ali Dia. They pulled it off. You got to give them credit. And that's
comparable. I was going to say comparable to the scene in Benchwarmers where he writes down "I am 10" and he gets into the game.
Yeah, exactly.
We're talking levels.
Yeah. It's a beautiful thing. Well, that's it for the first and final Picasso Galazzo. If you made it through that, you can make it through anything.
That is how we bring it home here, folks. Stay on this channel for all quizzes, predictor games. We will be bringing it to you every hour on the hour at a time of our choosing. Until next time, signing off on behalf of Patrick, this is James. Good night.